RocSports. I'm back with another video. As you can tell by the title, the time is now, in the words of Tank. It's time for my prediction on the big fight this weekend, Tank against Rolly. Let's get right into it. So, this is not a big fight by no stretch. At least to me, it's not. Like, in terms of what's at stake. But it's still a big fight because it's Tank fighting. That's how I look at it. Anytime one of my favorites fighting, I'm tuned in. I'm all eyes. I'm watching everything, every interview, every interaction, everything when it's fight week. Just that type of vibe, man. The energy for this fight has been great. For sure has been great. Even going back to when they were supposed to fight, you know, before Rolly had his allegations of his situation or whatever, they maintained that buzz, man, for this fight. And a lot of that has to do with Rolly, man. Rolly has sold the hell out of this fight. Regardless of if you think Rolly gonna win or you want to see what's gonna happen. I'm sure a majority of the people was thinking that Rolly is gonna lose the fight. But there is a crowd out there that's giving him a big chance. I've seen a lot of people betting on Rolly too. Teofimo bet 100K, even though that's his boy. But nonetheless, the build up, the energy for this fight, everything has been great. This week, the press conferences, every single press conference or interaction that Tank and Rolly has had, it's been great for TV, in my opinion. But this is the big stage now. Rolly hasn't been on this level, and this is the big stage. Big stage meaning just pay-per-view alone, but Rolly has barely even headlined certain fights. You know what I mean? He fought on a lot of good undercards, which is nothing wrong with that. But again, when you're talking about stepping up, like, you jump right to Tank. I mean, I applaud him, you know what I mean? Because Rolly wants to smoke with any and everybody, so I applaud him. But realistically speaking, you would think somebody starting late with boxing on top of that it would take a little bit more developmental fights before getting to somebody like Tank, you know what I mean? But nonetheless, I'm still excited for the fight. Like I said, this is a big stage, and I think it's going to be a little bit too much for Rolly. The Floyd effect. It's very interesting what's going on behind the scenes with Floyd, man. With Floyd, with Tank, as well as Mayweather Promotions as a whole. Mayweather Promotions fighters does not fight, man. At all. They just don't fight. Richardson Hitchinson just fought last week. I didn't even know he fought. Like, they just don't fight, man. But anyway, Floyd and Tank, it's been rumored that, well, it hasn't been rumored. Tank has said himself that this is it. Leading all the way up until this week, Tank has said that he was done with Floyd and Mayweather Promotions after this fight. And it was time for him to pretty much cross over to making the big fights now. The Lomas, the Devinhaneys or Kamboses, the Teofimos, the Shakurs, the Ryans. You know, all of those fights he wants. I made a video in the past, man, in terms of whether Tank is going to fight at 130, 135, or 140. He just got to make his mind up. It's so many opponents for him to fight. Everybody want to fight Tankdavis. And I'm starting to think that Tank wants to fight everybody too. But Floyd, it's pretty clear that Floyd and Tank their relationship hasn't been the best. They haven't been on the best of terms. Floyd has done some things that's questionable to me in terms of from a promoting standpoint. I get that Leonard's the CEO and all of that, but at the end of the day, this is Floyd's cash cow. This is his man, and if he leaves him, shoot, Rolly may be his next biggest thing, you know what I mean? So it's like, why haven't you been here? I don't understand. Why haven't Floyd been here? Floyd gets to wherever he want to go if he had other events going on. Like, why he haven't been here none this week? I'm sure he's going to be at the fight. I have no doubt in my mind that he's going to be at the fight. But why haven't he been here leading up into all this week? Or even before? Remember last time he had the fight scheduled before the last fight? He had one scheduled this. Like, why he keep... I don't know, man. It's a lot of little crazy stuff Floyd doing. But anyway, let's get it back into Rolly and Tank. What we here for? Rolly past opponents, man. Hasn't really fought nobody worth noting too much. But he has some questionable... He has been exposed, Rolly has, in terms of things that he can and can't do. I forget this dude that he had fought. I'm about to look him up real quick. He fought that I thought he lost. A lot of people thought he lost the fight. And they gave him the decision. But the dude who beat him ended up going to get knocked out by Richard Coleman, if I'm not mistaken. But he was a good fighter, though. Don't get me wrong. But if Rolly is supposed to be on this level, like we saying now, he should have knocked him out. What Comey did to him. Marinez. There you go. It came to me. What was his full name though? Jackson Marinez. So Jackson Marinez, Rolly did not win that fight. Avery Sparrow. It was a good fight. The stoppage, I think Avery Sparrow had got hurt in that fight, if I'm not mistaken. But nonetheless, he was touching on Rolly. He buzzed Rolly a couple times in that fight. But nonetheless, we here now. All of this cool and dandy, because I've been on Tank in the past too in terms of opponents, past opponents. They haven't been on the level of Tank, in my opinion. And Rolly's just another one of these opponents. Like, from the standpoint, I say this all the time, every boxing video, is levels when it comes to boxing. This is another fight that's perfect example of that. Tank is just on a completely different level than Rolly. This is like, if we putting it towards football terms, this is like the Rams, Kansas City over the past couple years, or Tampa Bay or somebody playing like the Giants. That's how I look at it, man. Like, Rolly is really not, he's not on this level. He's just not. And neither is his trainer. And I hate to judge his trainer this much, like this harsh. It's not like I'm just some expert, but this is just my opinion. I don't think his trainer is an elite trainer or is ready for this stage either, as well as his fighter. But Calvin Ford is. Calvin Ford is legit. It's something I want to start doing now when we're doing breakdowns. And we can sort of do a checkoff list from the standpoint of attribute, skills, all who has the edge and this and that. So, perfect example, I think Tank pretty much has the edge in almost every category in this fight. When you talk about power, talk about footwork. Okay, if you talk about power, that's the first thing, let's touch on power. Both guys is very powerful. If you haven't seen Rolly fight, Rolly is absolutely a knockout puncher. He has knockout power, devastating knockout power if he can land flesh. But at the same time, I don't think he always uses his power the best, if that makes sense. I don't think he hides his power. Like, Rolly is coming with power every shot. But Tank, both hands, dynamite, don't have to load up. Like, he has one of those type of powers where you'd be like, you would be shocked that this came out of this little frame. You know what I mean? Like with Tank. Rolly is very stiff. I think that we're going to really see that play a key into this fight. Tank is a hell of an athlete. He can move side to side, back, coming forward. He can do it all, man. Rolly is very stiff. He cannot fight going backwards. IQ. This not even needs to be touched on, man. We all know what's the deal with that. One thing, though, about this. Punch variation, punch placement, the variety, all of that. Both of these guys throw a lot of different punches from a lot of different angles. We all know that Rolly is very awkward. Even though I know what Tank said in the press conference, Rolly is awkward. Not textbook typically. You know what I mean? He have punches coming from different angles, but he throws a lot of punches, man. Have a very good left hook, Rolly does, as well as a right hand. But he telegraphs it, though. Tank, same thing. Punch variation, is punch placement, all of that. His accuracy, everything is superb. Tank has every punch in the book, from the uppercut, left or right uppercut, the overhands, the straights, the jab, the right hook. As we seen, he knocked down Barrios, who's bigger than Rolly, by the way. Rolly keep talking about size and height. This motherfucker says, we seen today for the first time, not for the first time, but we seen today, clear as day, both of them had on shoes that wasn't giving them neither 1 inches. And they was pretty much eye to eye. Rolly did all this talking about how short Tank is, and you pretty much Tank height. But, so I said that to say, he knocked Mario Barrios down with a right hook. I think Mario Barrios is a better fighter than Rolly. There's a lot of fighters, but again, though, the power aspect, Tank still has to be careful. That's what intrigues me about this fight. We know Tank is very good defensively when he wants to be. Rolly, I don't think has the best defense, but it's better than what people would give him credit for, just genuinely speaking about Rolly. He know how to shell up some, and he can roll some shots. Like Rolly, he's not terrible, but he's just not on this level. You know what I mean? Like, he's just, like Tank said, he's somebody that you can tell start boxing late. like from a standpoint of he started boxing late. You can tell like he feeling himself now. He know he's good. But one thing about him is that the dude is confident, man. The dude thinks and really believes that he's gonna knock Tank out. He keeps saying this 1 round stuff. I know that's just selling a fight, but I truly believe that he think he could beat Tank. I just don't think so though. But I really like to see Rolly get some respect after this fight. I would like to see his name get thrown in the mix from, you know, just guys when we talking, not necessarily the elite guys, but just see his name be thrown out there more, and not just for his antics, but for his fighting. So I would like to see him get some respect. Give us a wild moment in this fight. He might not necessarily drop Tank. Tank has a good chin, but I want to see him get some respect. Not just off power, but I mean like from his peers. His peers don't respect him. Devinhaney, Shakur, all of that, everybody in that whole little realm. Keyshawn Davis, all of them from 130 to 140. They don't. Regis Prograde was dogging Rolly. These dudes don't respect Rolly. Errol Spence was dogging them. Like, which, and again, some of it is worthy. You know what I mean? People trying to place the Mariaga comparison and stuff, but nonetheless, man, I'm very excited for this fight just because of the build-up. I know what's going to happen. I'm predicting Tank to knock out Rolly in 6 or 7 rounds, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happened earlier. But I'm going later because I feel like Tank is going to come out and try to play defense first, because like I say, I feel like Tank is very good defensively when he wants to be. So he know Rolly's a powerful puncher. He know that. But I feel like when he fought fighters like Leo Santa Cruz, Barrios, once he felt his power, like he didn't mind taking something to get some. You know what I mean? To give some type deal. But in this fight, I think Tank is going to be, especially early, a little bit more defensively responsible. Unless Rolly comes out guns blazing and really try to get this first round knockout, he really may run into something if he try to do that. But unless he try to do that, I think Tank is going, you know, try to break him down. I think Tank is really going to go to the body this fight. I would not be surprised. Rolly's in great shape. But as we all know, punches to the body, especially from a powerful puncher like a Tank, body punches will take away some of his power, meaning Rolly's. So I would like to see him go to Tank body as well. Rolly has to do a lot, man. He has to be physical with Tank. He has to use his jab. Rolly do use his jab. He has to use his jab. And in terms of his what punch is going to be there, I don't know, man, because I don't know what Tank we're going to get. It's going to be interesting. But Rolly he can't be scared under them big lights. He got to fight how he been fighting. He's up against it for sure this fight. But that left hook, that right hand that I was talking about, he got to throw that thing, man. That jab, he got all the energy that he been having leading up. He has to have in fight time. Stay focused. I feel like Tank is going to try to get in his head during this fight. The weigh-in, Tank pushed him off stage. Well, pushed him, and he, like, sort of slipped off stage, so to say. He didn't push him that hard. But I feel like stuff like that is just playing mind games with Rolly, man. And I feel like Rolly's the type of fighter that you can get into his head, too. So I'm very excited, man. I'm very, very, very excited for the fight. I'm not too excited about the undercard, though. We do have Lara on the undercard. But I'm not that excited for the undercard. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm very excited for the post-fight press conference, too. I hope neither fighter gets beat up too bad where they both can attend the press conference. As well as in the ring, the post-fight interview. So, yeah, man, post-fight reaction to be here. I'm excited. Let's get right into it, man. Tank Davis, Rolly. Let's do it. RocSports, I'm checking out. All of my boxing, NFL, and NBA fans, like, share, and subscribe, man. Keep coming back. I'm going to be dropping more content.